Hello, beautiful soul family. Welcome to another Monday Mastery, where we take a pulse on the energy. We revisit this past week, take a little bit of a look at the solar weather, and then step into some guidance for how to move forward through this next week. I'm excited to be with you again today. It has been a week, not too bad, relatively speaking, fairly mild, but still a fair amount of activity as well. So we had on Monday 4 M-class solar flares and 10 C-class flares. We had quite a bit of Schumann resonance activation all throughout the week. We also had a CME, which is a coronal mass ejection, which sparked a G1 geomagnetic storm, and that was all just Monday last week. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, relatively mild flare-wise. We had 2 M-class flares and 6 and 7 C-class flares, respectively. But on Wednesday, we also had a solar filament eruption. We did also experience a coronal mass ejection as a result of that solar filament eruption, but that was not Earth-facing. So some of us felt it. Certainly the solar sensitives felt it, but it did not impact Earth as much as it could have. Again, we saw another Schumann resonance spike on Wednesday. Thursday, we had 1 M-class flare and 8 C-class flares. Again, another Schumann resonance spike. And Friday, we had an almost X-class flare, ended up being 2 M-class and 9 C-class. But again, here we had a geomagnetic storm. We reached a KP6 on the KP index, which is a G2 geomagnetic storm. And again, more Schumann resonance spiking. It's very interesting how we've got just a lot of different little things all throughout the week. On Saturday, we had a proton radiation storm, another CME that wasn't quite fully impacting Earth, along with 7 M-class flares and 3 C-class flares. Yesterday, we had 3 M-class, 5 C-class, and a Schumann resonance spike. Today, however, we have quite a bit more. We received an X-class solar flare in the wee hours of the early morning. Well, not wee hours. It was, I think, 6 a.m. Central Time. And that is coming along with a G2 storm warning. So they're anticipating a geomagnetic storm. We also did see radio blackouts due to the X-class solar flare, and we had 2 more M-class solar flares since that X-class. So like I said, a fair amount of just little things, lots of little things. And so the energy was palpably challenging, uncertain. I don't want to say challenging, but the intensity came with a lot of these different little things that we were experiencing. For me personally, I loved the energy of this week. Monday, Tuesday, there was a little bit of tension or pressure that wanted to come through, but I quickly realized that was self-inflicted and that could be moved through very quickly. So just really looking at when the overwhelm starts to creep in, looking at what am I expecting myself to do? Is my plate too full? And knowing that all time is now, and that time expands to support my needs and desires, and recognizing that if there are things that I want to get done or think need to be done, they will get done when they're supposed to get done. And there's no sense in stressing or putting too much pressure on ourselves. So we really want to be aware of that tendency or propensity towards overwhelm. Also recognize that can be a trauma response, that if we're telling ourselves that we have to do all these things, or we have to get these things done, or life is busy, or life is difficult, these are all beliefs and programs that come from complex trauma. And so we can recognize the healing that needs to be done, and the cognitive step back that can happen when we say, you know what, we're just going to reduce the workload a little bit. We're going to trust that things happen when they're supposed to. So that was prevalent early in the week. And then as we move forward, when we relieve that pressure, we open up to expansion and stillness and faith and trust. The downloads just kept coming. And it's really interesting. There's a sense of, and I mentioned this last week, a sense of the new earth sort of being here, as if you can smell it, you can feel it, you can almost taste it, you can sense it's on its way in, even though it hasn't fully materialized yet. And said the thing that we are waiting for is materializing through us. And it's as if we are building it block by block, which is our thoughts and our beliefs, and this sort of trying things on and feeling into, well, what would it be like to live by the ocean, and what challenges would I face to transition from where I am to where I'd like to be, and what about this, and these thoughts of like, well, you can't do this or you shouldn't do that, and really trying that on and feeling through the different perspective options that we have to say, well, maybe actually that would work out really well for the kids and maybe other family. And this is just my personal example, but we're sort of trying things on and moving our perspective as necessary to say, well, I would like it to be this way, and really getting clear on the shoulds and the shouldn'ts and the limitations that we put on ourselves, and opening up instead of saying I can't and building a wall and cutting myself off. We ask the question, remain as king by asking the question, how can I? Right. And it was a very interesting understanding. I think I did. Sometimes I forget where I posted what. I did a shorter form video on TikTok, really talking about how the Ascension and the creation of the new earth are very reminiscent of, or I'm feeling it's one and the same, is the talk of rapture, right? That there's, in the book of Revelations, it's said that people will just no longer be there. And it's as if this phasing out that is happening. Historically, I have usually around 7 to 10 year cycles, pretty significant milestone changes in life. I could feel it coming in for about 6 months to a year and recognize something's happening, something's shifting, something's changing. Maybe it's a new job or a move or a new relationship, something like that. I could sense it for about 6 months to a year that it was coming in, and then the thing would drop and materialize and we would land in this new place. And then that would be the next 7 to 10 year cycle. Well, we've had this feeling of something's coming for a couple of years now. I would say probably 2019, right before COVID. I really got that strong sense. And then COVID happened, and I thought, well, that was it. But it's continued, and it's taking longer. The thing hasn't fully landed or materialized yet. And I realized that ascension or creation of new earth or creating heaven on earth or the rapture, it's all one and the same. And that's what we're experiencing right now. It's this we're waiting for things to materialize, but it's actually materializing through us. Like I said, creating the new world brick by brick, which is a thought by thought, right? Belief through belief. And we get to choose what we're going to experience. That in the separation of the old and the new, you could say the 3D and the 5D, you could say new earth separating from the old earth. We are creating it right now. And so it's different this time. It's not like this thing is going to just land like it has historically. Rather, we're building it piece by piece. And I am so encouraged, because through creating a really just the relationship with the divine is just deepening and deepening and deepening. And get into the body if you're not feeling this, it doesn't really matter. If you want to deepen your relationship with the divine, get into the body and find that sense of where does God live in my body? We know that the codes on our DNA literally spell out, triangulated properly with ancient language and the periodic table, it spells out God eternal within the body. We know that the body is the temple for the spirit. We know that the breath of life animates our body. We know that our autonomic nervous system is functioning because of the God source energy that is within us. So get into the body and feel palpably that sense of God loves me so much that he wants me to thrive. Right. And that this creation, what we're creating that's moving through us, is it's safe to believe that it can be good. Right. It's safe to believe in the certainty of a beautiful future. It is safe to believe in the certainty of a beautiful future. The question is, will you allow yourself to receive the good that is in store for you? What are the beliefs? Historically, I have had a belief that life is just harder for me. I've got some sort of design or chart or program or whatever it might be that means that I'm going to struggle more. But really, what made my life harder was the belief that life was hard, and the belief that I have some sort of greater challenge than other people. How egoic actually is that, to think I'm so special. My life is going to be more difficult. It's completely ridiculous. When you let go of the belief that life is hard and you embrace the belief that life gets to be good now, things start shifting and changing. You can feel it. You can feel the excitement in your body. We will experience what we choose to create. Right? Again, be careful. What are you assembling with these blocks of thoughts and feelings and beliefs, right? Feel through all of the different aspects or concerns or the yeah buts, those shoulds and those shouldn'ts, and remove them. Let them go. You are a powerful creator. You get to decide. You are the decider. You get to decide to let go of these things. Remove the shoulds, remove the have tos, and know with absolute certainty, it gets to be good now. Right? We will receive our dream is what I first wrote, and then I corrected it. Our dream is here now. Our dream is here now. We know scientifically that all time is now, and that we are moving through these timelines, if you will, scientifically proven pancakes of time on top of each other. We get to experience what is in alignment with our consciousness, with our thought process, right? We know from a psychological standpoint that your beliefs create your reality. What you experience is coming through you because of the thoughts and beliefs that you hold. This is why biblically we are told to only think about things that are good. Right? The miracle is here now. This is, I have to credit Katie Childs for this understanding, this knowing, this insight. My beautiful Katie, I love you so much. What she was mentioning was that when we experience a trauma, with that is also already created the miracle. Just like with light must have dark, there is always two sides of a coin. We live in a world, a dualistic world, right? With light comes dark. With trauma comes the miracle. The restorative experience that you needed to heal, or need now to heal, was created in the moment that the trauma happened. So your miracle is here now. It is just a realization of it. It is an opening to it. It is removing all of the beliefs that I can't, or I shouldn't, or I have to work hard, or I have to earn it. We're told that you cannot earn it. You can, no deed will prove you valuable enough to have earned it, because it is already yours. You are already a child of God. You already deserve the overflow that you have been promised in so many places. All right. So start telling yourself the miracle's here now. The dream is here now. Nothing stands in the way except me, which is awesome because I have control over that and I get to choose what beliefs I'm going to hold on to. Do I believe that God wants me to struggle, or do I believe that God wants me to thrive? Your miracle is a shift in perspective towards love. There's only two kinds of thoughts: love or fear. Which will you choose? And I understand it sounds so oversimplified because it actually is simple. But for those of us who feel like it's not that simple, that's a trauma issue. That's a somatic issue. That's getting into the body, closing these stress responses, and working with the parts of us that hold the key to the subconscious program. It's not something that we can just cognitively override and force the little inner child to say, no, you must believe your good is here now. No, we have to sit with her, and we have to love on her, and we have to be with her and allow her to have her process. And when she's done, she says, oh, maybe it's not as hard as I thought it was. Maybe I might be ready to believe it is as simple as choosing love over fear. Okay. The dream is here now. Nothing stands in the way. I am the decider. You are the decider. And we get to say, I allow God to love me by receiving. Notice, again, credit to Katie. I had a session with her and she did this sort of exercise with me. Imagine for a moment there is a ball of light, and that ball of light holds your dreams, right? Maybe it's financial stability. Maybe it's the love of your life. Maybe it's full and complete wholeness and health and wellness. Maybe it's your dream home, whatever it is. Imagine this ball of light holds your dream and God is sending it to you. How does that feel in your body? Like me, you might have a little bit of hesitation. There might be a little bit of fear. Ooh, what do I have to do to get that? What pain will come with my dream? Right? If you have any resistance to receiving, you want to get into the body and understand, what is that all about? Find that part and sit with her, him or her, and ask, right? What is it that we're afraid of? When was the first time we felt that way? And go sit with that part and allow it its process, right? I'm going to repeat it again. I allow God to love me by receiving. And as I receive, I give and create ripples of love. You are not doing anybody any favors by staying small, hiding your light, or suffering. That in the end, your purpose is thriving. And as you thrive, the tide rises all boats, and you are able to pour into others. So practice feeling good. Practice holding and receiving what it is that you desire. Notice how I love Brene Brown calls it joy foreboding. We're afraid of feeling good. So practice feeling good and holding feeling good in your body. Feel the divine presence in your body and know that you could not be closer to everything that you seek. It literally is one with you. Feel the love and provision and know that nothing can separate you from God, from God's love, and from every ounce of provision that you seek or desire. Think about every breath that you take. Is God reminding you, not only does he love you, but he's excited that you're here and to go through this journey with you. Every breath we are receiving and we are giving. We are receiving and we are giving. Every other need can be met just as easily, right? Tell yourself it is done. It's done now. My miracle is here now. It is done. No more waiting. Get excited. Relax into ease and flow and allow the divine glory to be demonstrated through your life. Are you ready? Are you ready? Just let it be. It's already here. You just have to allow it in. Receive. I love you, my friends. Take care. Namaste.